Alrighty.
All right. I am Austin Light with American Demon Comics. There may be some confusion in the links that you've been given if you are tuning in, but we have tried to figure this out. I'm still experimenting with different things, OBS and then now StreamYard. But StreamYard is proving not to be very useful right now, seeing as I have a free plan, but we are going to make do with what we have. And I'm very excited to have with me Kenji Gonzales with the Shepherd Studios, and he's been in a plethora of very high-end mobile games and a bunch of AAA productions. And I just want to go ahead and let him. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't. I've got two people that follow me, So I'm very honored that he decided to go with Derek's gut and join me here on this show tonight. But Kenji, tell us what we need to know about you.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here, Austin. Yeah, I can give you a little rundown of my background. So, yeah, for the majority of my career, I was actually a concept artist in the mobile gaming industry. So a little bit of where so I grew up in the Bay Area. My parents were all in tech back in the 80s, 90s, and so forth. But I did not want to go into it officially. Decided to go to art school instead. And I attended Laguna College of Art and Design. At the time, it was being turned from the Art Institute of Southern California because they didn't want to be associated with the other art institutes in the area. But I was a feature animation major, and it was kind of that in between when they were making the transition from traditional animation to more 3D animation in the industry. So I kind of got a little bit of both. So we learned how to flip paper, and by the end of senior year, we were like on, working in Maya and everything like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Ironically, though, I had wanted to be a concept artist at the time, and they didn't really have anything. There was an illustration major, there was a fine arts major, there was an animation major, and I think the last one was graphic design. Us animators were usually at war with the graphic designers, it's funny how that happened, but it's usually like, little department warfare or whatnot.
Careful how you tread.
I know, exactly. But from there, I still did a lot of digital illustration. So I was, at the time we were learning how to work with Photoshop and, learn the tools and, make some pretty cool stuff. After I graduated, I really did. I decided to move back because I was already tired of LA traffic and just SoCal traffic in general. I was doing this bit of a internship up in Pasadena at the time. So I'd go up every Friday, and I was living in Irvine back then. So going up the 5 on Friday at in the afternoon and coming back was just that kind of killed it for me. I came back home to the Bay Area, and I started. I was freelancing. I worked for a couple studios in the San Jose area as well. One of them was called Gaia Interactive. So they mostly worked in like avatars, pixel avatars. That was a huge thing, especially like monetizing little things for your little chibi avatar, basically. So like the horns that you wear, the accessories, the clothes, little weapons. That was their whole business model. After Gaia, I was also working for another startup called Emerald City Games that's based up in Vancouver. I'd helped them with an early game called Sacred Seasons, and I know they're still around at this point. But really the heyday for me that I'm always the most proud of was when I was working at a studio called Phoenix Age in San Francisco. And that for me was like, I was probably there the longest. The art team there was really my family, because I was, you don't travel, you don't commute 3 hours a day, unless you really enjoy what you're doing at that point. So I worked.
Wow. Is that 3 hours one way?
Both ways. That's combined, because I would drive to the Caltrain station. So I lived in the South Bay, and San Francisco is about an hour, like a 45, 50-minute drive up from where I live. I live right by Apple, basically. but I would take the Cal train. So I drive to the station in the morning, get on the train, take it up, and it's about it's about a 45-minute with the bullet train to the Fourth and King station, and then from there it's about like a 15-20 minute walk, or a 10 to 15-minute mini ride to the office, which is kind of right by the ferry building. So it's like on the north side of downtown, basically right on the bay. It was we had nice views. I'm not going to complain. That's part of it.
I got to tell you, I'm not very familiar with California
Yeah.
and that coast whatsoever. I went to Stanford for my brother's graduation when I was like 18, and other than that, I have not been there. I'm not familiar with it. The way you talk about it, you got me thinking, like, do they just have studio art jobs just stacked on top of each other like sardines over there? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it fluctuates. I feel like back, decades ago, we had probably more of an active creative industry in the Bay Area, but now tech has become more hardcore tech has become the main thing. And so, but in LA, like if you go down to LA and the Orange County area, I feel like it's still very much alive. That being said, even where I live, there's still quite a few studios that are still up and coming. So I mean, it's still there. It's just not quite what it was in the past. But yeah, when people think California, they think like, oh, palm trees and sparkly stuff. It's like, no, it's fog and strip malls. It's like,
well, I mean, that's not far off from the rest of America.
That corner strip mall with the laundromat and the grocery store and like the drugstore and everything like that. It's like, no, it's that. Yeah.
The way Huntsville paints itself here is just rockets and space and the moon and like that kind of engineering and university, and it's strip malls and apartments and a nice coffee place.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Just when you have the romanticizing like what something might be like, and it's like, and then you get there, and it's like, oh.
Well, we were at your commute, a whopping 3 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, so when I started there at Phoenix Age, it was about like, oh gosh, maybe 13, 14 people, myself included. So I was the first hire outside my art director for the art team, aside from two of the animators that were already there. First day there, I was supposed to work on these cute art pieces for like concept art pieces for like this game that's like all about animals and everything like that. And the first day I get there, they had me working on vampires instead. So for another title, well, it was not part of my job description. But it's okay. I like vampires. But yeah, so I worked with. So the main titles for Phoenix Age were Castle Age, which had been around for quite a while at that point. It was a web-based game initially, until we transitioned to mobile during my time there. And the second game was called Underworld Empire, which is another like RPG for mobile. That one I had worked from the inception to the final product on the market. We built the initial assets out, and as most things with game development, you don't see anything you see in the final product. You really won't see in development stage and production stage until about maybe like 95% of it is completed, and that before that everything looks just like awful. It's like assets everywhere, codes breaking, everything like it's just it's never.
I can imagine
romantic notion.
Like that's kind of what stressed me out thinking about going into some kind of game development, is just building a website in of itself can just be so taxing. I mean, being fresh to it, it's so taxing mentally.
Yeah.
And then let's like amplify that to a team that's trying to get things to move and trying to get buttons to work and menus to work and visual files to work. And it's just like, just crossing wires everywhere.
You
That
are
sounds like a headache.
you're swapping out assets all the time. You're doing reiterations of animations. You know, you're fixing the UI all the time, just trying to polish it to get the right look that is on brand with, you know, the IP itself. And yeah, like I mean, I can't name how many times I redid a couple things just because, you know, we tried it and it's like, it's kind of there, maybe not, maybe yes, maybe not. So but it was good times though. I mean, it was a good. I mean, that we grew from 14 folks into about almost short of 50, I would say. I would say those were good times. You know, the art team was very close. You know, we did a lot of things together outside of work. We usually the studio had its own little socializing hour on Thursdays every few weeks. So, you know, we grab pizza, play games at night. We even did we had a little whiskey store across from us at one of the malls, and so it was like right across the street. So a bunch of us on Fridays would just go and do like a little whiskey tasting and whatnot. Just
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it was good times. But we got large enough that we got the eye of Kabam, which was kind of like the Blizzard of mobile gaming back in the day, and basically, so we basically became a subsidiary of them. So we retained the Phoenix Age name and our office up until like the last year. But it was pretty cool. We got access to more resources, basically, to start building some pretty cool stuff. And then the final year, we actually had to move our entire office to their office space, which was like a couple blocks down the road, basically more central San Francisco in the downtown area. So.
Well, is there anything else you want to highlight before
Yeah, I mean, I can just talk a little bit afterwards. So after I left Kabam, I basically went into. I decided I was tired of corporate. I wanted to get kind of back into that creative space again. So I worked with a couple different clients over the years. I worked for the Fat Rat, who's based in Germany. He's a big music producer. He does like a lot of music videos with artists, teams up with them, and then has a huge YouTube following. So usually they'll animate the art. So I did one called "Close to the Sun" back in 2019, which was featuring Angeli, the singer. I mean, to this day, I think that video has like over, I want to say almost 47 million views at this point, which is like, you know, that is a testament to like the huge following he has. I've worked with KOSMOS, who are also based in Germany. They're a big media house. They're the ones that basically are behind Settlers of Catan. I helped them revamp RUMMs which is a big children's dice game in Germany. There's a couple, actually, if you look on YouTube, there's actually a couple of commercials for that as well. But I redid the board map for that.
Oh, okay.
I still continue to work with a couple of different studios over the years. Worked at a couple indie publishers as well for like their tabletop games when they were doing Kickstarters. And then back in 2020, I did an animated short. Finally, used my major for 3 minutes. my back
for us.
Exactly. My background was layout, and so when I was an animation student, so I basically did these image plates akin to like, if you remember Beauty and the Beast, they had the stained glass look in the beginning, in the opening, right? So I did that style for the animated short. We were featured in 12 film festivals, and most of them we were finalists, and then we won 4 of the awards. So in LA International Film Festival, we got the Roma Short Film Festival, also the Cosmopolitan Film Festival of Tokyo, if I remember correctly, and then there was another one in LA that we won as well. So it was pretty cool. I mean, like, it was nice to at least get the validation, like, oh, my major actually got this. So all those years, it's like, oh, it paid off.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
That's exactly good time. So so it's called Rude Sleeping Beauty. It's basically from the perspective of the witch, her recount of the tale and, like, you know, what actually happened and so forth. So it was a cute story. It was fun to work on.
Oh, I didn't mean for that to jump into the stage just yet. Did you have anything else that you wanted to
No, I mean I can go into like what I'm working on nowadays. If that's something that we want to dive into.
I wanted to show everybody what is the current, like endeavors that Kenji is into right now.
Yeah, I can talk a little
Um,
bit about the studio and what we're cooking up right now. So I'm a part of the Shepherd Studios. So it's myself, my other partner is Jefferson Keith Langley, and Wayne Carmona. So Jefferson Keith Langley was uh, he's kind of that rare unicorn who's both a businessman and a creative. It's very rare to find someone that's actually good at both, and which we are very fortunate that he's leading the charge on this. He used to write, direct, and produce feature films when he was in his 20s. He's managed a creative hedge fund back in the day as well. Um, he's helped kickstart different businesses in Texas when he was younger. Quite a few things. He has an athletic background, so he's very sports oriented. We use a lot of sports metaphors when we're conversing with the team. And then Wayne Carmona was the producer for some of the biggest TV hits. So Entourage, SEAL Team, The Last Ship, You on Netflix. He had a film come out like about 3 years ago called Knox Goes Away, which starred Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton also directed the film. It also had Al Pacino and James Marsden. Marsden played the son in the film.
damn.
So, yeah, Wayne's very very old Hollywood guard in a lot of ways. Very very humble in a lot at the same time. So,
All right.
yeah, and then
That's awesome. To have that kind of that talent at your fingertips is very, very interesting.
it's definitely
Sounds very fun.
it's a very hyper creative space. We get to. What's nice is I get creativity at the end of the day is always problem solving, right? It's you're trying whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, whether you're a writer, you're trying to solve it. You're trying to find a way through the puzzle, right? And in a lot of ways, what I'm doing right now is an extension of that creativity. It's just finding ways to productize, monetize, and enterprise intellectual property into something that can sustain itself in this new day and age when a lot of industries right now are going through a very rough time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
How do you feel? This is kind of a tangent question. How do you feel about the current state of how media is treating different areas and aspects of creative endeavors and rehashing, just kind of I don't know. It seems like an amalgamation of regurgitating, but like as far as like larger studios go, except for maybe A24,
Yeah.
even like Rockstar as a publishing has not done very much. It's Red Dead Redemption 2 was almost approaching 10 years ago, and it's been GTA 5 for over 10 years. So how do you feel about all these companies just kind of riding it out with some with rehashes?
A lot of what I'm seeing this is from discussion with people I know as well in the different industries, both gaming and film. We're kind of every industry right now is having a little bit of up and comings. A lot of it is due to one, bad business practices that were just the norm over decades.
Mhm.
It's finally coming to the point where it's like it's if you don't take care of something, it kind of just festers, and then when it
Right.
festers enough, it finally blows up in your face, right? I think that's a lot of the case, right? So for the film industry, nothing's really being made right now, in all honesty, right? There's very few things that are actually getting kickstarted, unless they were already being started beforehand, before the strikes, before even then, COVID. It was already going that way.
Mm-hmm.
The gaming industry, right now you're spending millions upon millions of dollars on a single project, right? And then if something happens that it just goes astray, you've already lost that money. And not to mention you're now putting the 10, 5, 10, 15 years of development time to get a product out to market. And we're in an era now where people don't have either the commitment or the patience to be spending, 80 hours on, one thing, right?
Mhm.
Usually it's like micro bits. And
I don't
so,
know, but I mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
I was just say I don't know. Before I say anything, define what you mean by spending or committing 80 hours to something. Um, is that like was that in reference to something in the business portion of it, or in just like the individual consuming media portion?
In the consumer media portions, like when I was younger, I could spend easily that kind of time, right?
Mhm.
I it, but now it's like time is very precious. I don't have that amount of bandwidth to commit to anything really. It
Mhm.
needs to be it needs, and even a couple studios are changing their practices to kind of do a fail fast method where like you need to prove it out right away with more limited budget, otherwise we're canning it at that point. Um, the landscape is definitely changing in a lot of regards. Even with comics right now, it's they're having their little up and comings as well. Again,
Mhm.
I mean, I'd say the landscape has shifted dramatically over the past few years, especially. It was already difficult, and now it's like a lot of folks are definitely trying to find different solutions going forward.
Well, is as a consumer myself, I've spent there's a lot of things I've spent great portions of my life, and then even up to recently,
Yeah,
I'm begging for stuff to be, high quality. Like it's got to be at a par for me to like
mhm,
commit to it like that.
yeah,
I don't want the sugar rush. Gene Simmons was talking to uh, Billy Corgan on his podcast, and he was saying that as he was coming up with songs and coming up with this whole idea of Kiss and the band and everything,
mhm,
that his desire was to be fun, to be the sugar rush, be just something to just be able to pop in and just understand and enjoy. And like I love that is a thing, but like I love my taste of music. There's different ways that I can enjoy music, and I'm sure everybody's the same, but my taste really leans more towards something that has stories in it, that has something that is um, trying to be mined out of what is created. And like I didn't get done. Spotify made me be done, but I was listening to Game of Thrones, the first book on audiobook.
mhm.
uh and I was like 27 hours in out of a 33-hour audiobook. And Spotify was like, okay, that's your limit for this month. And I'm like,
Oh wow!
no,
Oh
no,
no,
I want 33 more hours right now.
your invested time, right?
um I I love being able to have something that can have my attention for that long. um I just think that the quality has to be there. I think that a business has to have that core creative source that is not being stomped,
Oh yeah.
creatively. um
For us, it's very much of like how to find different ways of immersion, um, to kind of hit it from a 360-degree angle. So instead of just like one thing being the main carrier, you have multiple things that can kind of give you the fuller picture of that world, of that experience, right? And so you're kind of hitting all the senses at that point through different products.
mhm. uh well, I really appreciate you going down that tangent a little bit with me. I'm going to bring your primary website back up here, and I want you to let me know if there's anything you want me to specifically go to.
Yeah, if you want to talk, if you can go to the studio reel if you want to play it, and then check out what we've done in the past. It's on the main page right here. Yeah, it should bring up a video.
My computer, I think, is having a little delay from running StreamYard, so it's like
Okay.
I'm clicking, but I'm like, I'm not going to click too many times. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that it's.
It might be a little bit. Yeah, it might be a little bit slow on streaming, but we can see.
I'm not even sure if this will play sound. And I'm getting a gray screen over here.
Yeah, it's showing black and white. We can come back to another.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's all about transmedia with the studio. You know, given our backgrounds, you know, everyone on the team has been in the film or gaming industry, or you know, or something business aligned at one point. So we always look to see, you know, how can we take IP? How can we build out a model that's self-sustaining, that's going to engage different consumers, you know, the different audiences, and bring them to something that they will want to invest their time, their effort, their money into, because it's something that's very close to them. All right. So it's not just like a one cheap shot. It's like you're creating something that is very close to you, that you grow with, essentially. So we have a couple different IPs on our end that we're working. So we're mostly in the thriller horror space, and then we're also in the kids and family space as well. Yeah, I know it's a very yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I know. I heard myself say just now. I'm just like, yeah. We joke. It's either like psyops thrillers, or it's like spiritual horror, or cats. And so for us, I mean, horror is, you know, horror is very cost controlled, and it's one that, you know, you don't have to speak the language to be scared, right? That's one that's always going to be around no matter what. And you know, we're more on the psychological horror space. So we're really messing with the viewer and, like, you know, what did it happen? Did it really happen? You know, what's going on here? Thriller space, we have an IP right now called Scepter, which is kind of like a psyops conspiracy thriller type of one. So it's actually perfect for what's going on these days. But it deals with basically this universe where, you know, these government programs are happening behind the scenes, and, like, you know, for like the example of feature film, these two entrepreneurs are basically trying to clear the name when, you know, the energy drink that they've been developing ends up, like, making all the test group folks go crazy, and they have to, you know, figure out what the heck happened. And it turns out there's actually a lot more going on at the same time. And then we have a game also attached to this called The Facility. It's a maze runner escape game. Kind of like, think of it like, you know, did you play Counter-Strike or any FPSs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you remember how you still have the first person view, right? And you're running through the hallway trying to, like, escape for your life and having to get out alive because everything got unleashed.
Sounds like Mirror's Edge.
Right. And you turn the wrong corner. It's like, going the other way. I gotta use my tools and hide use my tools to get out and hide somehow too in the process. So it's we got those going right now. Scaredy Cat is like a more family friendly one. This is more about a world of cats and cat herders, like literal cat herders. But we have a matching card. Yeah, I know. It's like contrast. We have a matching card game already on the market right now. It's a memory card game. The second one's already coming out within the next month or so. We also actually are working on the digital card game as well. So we're in the process of going out to publishers for it.
And I need to get me this.
It's kind of like a Sanrio meets Cats type of thing. That's. But yeah, it's very much, you know, it's more about, getting kids to like be engaged with like the parents and their siblings, teach kids about courage and, care for the community and all these things. So we actually have a short story compilation we're working up to with another author, Brad Lamar. He was the author for this series called Celtic Mythos, which has won a couple of awards, but he's also a teacher. And so we've been working with him to build a curriculum for these short stories, which in each book has like a little lesson for the kids, essentially. But it's like it follows one of the cats, and then he basically gets told the tale of one of the other cats and like, how they solve the problem or whatever problem that they had at the time or whatever issue. So it's very family friendly, very different from running down hallways with monsters. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is we get to work with a lot of creators in the process. And the thing about us is we don't take ownership of IP, like unlike other studios. For us, it's like the creator is the main backbone of it. If like they know it better than we do, it's like if we're gonna work together with it, they need to maintain the ownership of that to keep driving the narrative ship. And then we work with them to build things out to increase to grow that ecosystem even more. So that way everyone's kind of a winner. Oh, you're muted right now. I can't hear your sound.
Sorry, I accidentally muted my mic. I touch my mic a lot and I'll accidentally mute it. But I got my camera up in front of me and then I've got my screen down below me to like see you. And so like I want to be engaged with everybody, but I also want to like see what you're doing and how you're reacting and everything.
Oh.
So just if you or anybody that's watching gets like, what's he doing? Like, what's he looking at down there? Yeah, I'm going to plug real quick what's going on with me. Right now, the Pandemonium training program is going on for beginners on Kickstarter live right now. So if you want, and if anybody wants to jump in on this and take advantage of getting a starter guide to fitness, I've tried to consolidate all the most important aspects of it to me into this book. It's going to be about 40 pages, give or take. So if anybody's interested at all in getting fit for the new year, that's about the time it'll get delivered out. It is featuring my two characters, Sam and Envy from Envy. Would love it if you guys just go check it out. And it's very beginner friendly, super beginner friendly, but it can be modified for more advanced people. But I do plan on coming out with highly advanced programs in the future. But yeah, go check that out. All right, back to what we're doing right here. Did you want to show us some of your art process? Did you have that pulled up earlier?
Yeah, I can. I mean, so the funny thing about my art process, it varies quite a bit depending on the project because I was always a little bit of a chameleon. With my work, I could usually fit into any project and any genre. Because I was very versatile when I was working, so I can show a couple different things. I mean,
yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to be locked into one specific way. Any little tidbit, I'm sure, is engaging and informative. So feel free to show whatever you're working on.
Let me pull a couple things up. A second. Yes, I didn't realize that you worked in fitness as well because I teach group fitness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually
That's awesome.
3 programs at the gym. It's my little side hobby that got carried away. It was supposed to be just for fun, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I've been in the gym for over 15 years now, and in many different forms, I guess you could say. I was a beginner, not knowing what I was doing for a few years. Then I became a meathead for a few years, just banging away in all the wrong ways, but I kind of knew what I was doing. And then I started getting educated in it through YouTube University, and started getting a lot more out of it and a lot more results in a lot less time. And I've been exploring a lot of different avenues because of that. I've been, I went from weights to explosive conditioning and agility training to now I'm doing like yoga, like trying to kind of get more flexible because I've just grown so tight over the years.
Yeah.
But I'm also I'm also deeply into the paranormal and like sci-fi and not like sci-fi, but like cryptids and that kind of stuff, just super fascinating to me. So like the idea of chakras and your astral planes and like trying to kind of get the mind disconnected from the body, that whole idea is super fascinating to me. So I told my yoga instructor, I was like, hey, so like one of my goals is to like learn how to do that. She laughed and was like, we'll try. And I was like, okay.
Sounds like my world. I hear you on that. All right, let me share my window 1 second. I'm going to pull this up. So there's some personal work here. I'll post some of my old professional work as well. So this is actually from my personal IP called The Legend of Ea. This is actually one I brought to the Shepherd Studios that I'm working on the side on in my free time. But this is one that's kind of set in it's a high fantasy IP. Has a bit of some Zelda vibes to it as well. But generally, I grew up with Tolkien. Very dedicated to it. I've read quite a few fantasy series over the years, and always trying to find one that kind of hits the right notes and things like that. And then I realized, let me just start writing and see where it goes. But the nice thing is I can do my own art as well. So this is actually one of the maps that I created for that universe.
Nice.
That I've been building out at the same time. We also got, I can at least show the Scaredy Cat stuff too.
I like that map though.
Thank you, man. Scaredy Cat.
Oh, look at all the kitties.
Our fun little cute cat game. Yeah. We got stuff from Scepter. Let's see what else I got here. I could probably pull up. There's the book cover right here. Black book assembly. Let's see. One moment.
So you said that map was like for your own fantasy project?
Yeah, my own fantasy project. Correct.
Okay.
This one is for Scepter. This is for the book called Code Black. Turn off the guides and everything.
So this is going to be a cover?
This is actually, it's a cover for a book that's already out on the market at the moment. So this follows the tale of Granite Black. He's a security guard that works at the government black site called the Facility. All heck breaks loose, and he has to escape with his life at that point and go on the run. So the main storyline is in this book called Code Black for him, but he also features in the Maze Escape game called The Facility, which we're currently going out for at the moment.
Is this like was there anything special done to this cover that's like ingrained or embossed or
we're trying
foil stuff?
We're actually trying to find the right print partner that could do something like that. Right now, it's strictly just the gray lines at the moment. But I want, there's so much more we could do with it for like a high-end edition.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks like it. It would look like it'd be an awesome tomb to behold, like a hardback with all those lines just shiny.
Yeah,
it'd be cool.
Yeah. I have some stuff from like, let's see. There's another series I worked on called Seaside Murders, which has some pretty cool stuff. So this deals with walk-ins. Walk-ins are basically these entities that can actually walk into the human body and basically possess and control it. Let's see if I can find it here. Some of the art from it. This is some of the concept art I did for it a while back.
Ooh.
Yeah. We were doing some of these assets as well for like the different interiors at the time. And then I have one of the walk-ins here somewhere, as you can kind of see. They're pretty horrific. Those times when I actually do more crazy art. Here we go. Let me pull this over. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So these are good times. So yeah, Mike. My style tends to vary quite a bit depending on like what's needed. Like, let me see. I have some stuff from back in the old days from Castle Age and Underworld Empire. Trying to find it. It's all my old work files that I still have for portfolio purposes and everything. Let's see here, Dropbox. Here we go. This is what I want. So this was for a game that I worked on that unfortunately did not take off a long time ago called I gotta download it. Hang on one sec. Forgot it's on the cloud right now. There we go. This is called Guardian Kingdoms. This was like an arena that I designed for a boss fight, basically.
Looks like a Warcraft place.
It has a very Warcraft. So it's, you know what's funny? My art director and our leads were all from Blizzard. They were on the cinematic.
Yeah, that tracks.
Our studio posts quite a few Blizzard folks at the time. So I kind of like, it wasn't intentional. Like but I just sort of absorbed the style over time. And it's just like
I don't think you can help it. Like I don't think that it's you know, I
love the buttery texture of the Warcraft.
Yeah.
Really, it's so addicting. It's just like, yeah, I kind of like want to learn to do that. So we did that. Let me see. I have some things from like Castle Age here. I can show like some of the maps I used to do for. These are like some of the maps I used to do for the mobile game, for the world. Used to do a lot of props as well. It's like items. Let's see what I got here. This is for like a water demon set that you won, basically. Some other types of
What game did you say this was for?
Castle Age. Yeah.
Castle Age.
You know, it's funny. That game is like over 15 years old at this point, and somehow it's still running. I don't know how they're still playing. We took our hands off that game like back in 2016. Like, and so like I don't even think it's with the folks that bought it back then. So like,
nobody's running this.
I don't know who's running it, but like someone is apparently. Like, but it's definitely not the original team. Let's see here. Underworld Empire. Again, you know, this was more mafia style work, but again, lots of lots of properties. I worked on a lot of different icons too for the game, for landmarks and everything.
This is the kind of stuff I wanted to go to school for, but like this was not. It was not the goal.
Yeah,
of like what the curriculum was there. It was so bare bones.
Yeah, even when I was in school, like I didn't learn how to do any of this. You know, most of this was on the job generally. Like the structure of the department just, at least when I was there, did not lean towards it. Now my old school has a whole game art and design department. It was never there when I was a student.
Well, I was in high school. I had Art Institute speakers come by,
Mhm.
and they would showcase people's portfolios and stuff, and they were really like showing this kind of stuff off, like this is what you would be doing. And I was like, yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Then I had a child, and I was like, I can't go that far.
Yeah. I'll do it. We have a card game that's coming out soon too for another IP called Ghost Tales. So it's kind of like Shrek meets Mother Goose meets 1940s film noir. So we basically took nursery rhymes instead and went to town on it. So this is an IP by Brad Lamar. Really fun. He already has a book called M&T's Private Detective and Bakery, and then the second book will be coming out end of this year probably. And then we have another kids book called Winkerton Wolf, which is basically where the big bad wolf is being sued by the three little pigs in Red Riding Hood. Judge Penny, which is like the Judge Judy of that world, basically. And it's done in courtroom sketches, basically. We went a little crazy over the top on that one, but it's okay. So, I can show like this is the card for like the
wow,
game I'm developing right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so trying to keep it a little fun. It's like Monopoly meets Machikoro, basically, but in a cardified form. So we've been busy. We're testing it right now with the middle school kids because that's really the target group. Because middle school kids like to sabotage each other, so we have a lot of sabotage elements in this. So it's like, it plays out. Yeah, and luckily their feedback, they have very unfiltered feedback, so it's like it's good or not depending on like what they say. So it's
this sounds very fun.
Thank you.
I've encountered a couple of like Kickstarter board games that I didn't want to pull the trigger on. I went to one of my friend's house that had a Kickstarter board game, and my God, was this thing confusing. And it had like just this like huge spread manual of how to play it. And we were like, this is going to take 3 hours just to figure out what we're doing.
I wrote when I was designing the game, I kept that in mind because it's like, I don't want to be spending like forever trying to figure out every single rule like that. So I did like a little quick start guide that's inside the box. And then if you want the full rules for like every detail, right? Which actually isn't that long anyways, but I put it up. There's a QR code that goes to like the website basically where the full rule sheet is. But you don't really need it unless you want to get into like little like, well, he said, she said type of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just enough that you can kind of kick it off and then get going and mess each other up. But yeah, we have basically you basically have like tenants. You're trying to build properties up from straw shacks to like brick flats, right? And you have tenants that can give bonuses to these things when you charge everyone rent. You have the action cards either to destroy everyone's properties or to like not pay rent or to steal rent or to steal cards from everyone else and things like that. And then
that does sound great.
You have the money cards to like keep your buffer up so that way if you get charged rent, you have enough. Otherwise, they start checking you for like they empty your pockets out. So at that point, hang you upside down. So it's like, yeah, that's really the idea of it. It was fun.
That sounds fun, man.
It was fun to design. So yeah. But yeah, I mean that's sort of a taste of just a lot of different things I work on nowadays.
Okay. What's this? What's? Give me a little bit more of what's going on with the fantasy that you're crafting here.
Oh, yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. So, Legend of Aya, it's basically best way I would put it is like Final Fantasy meets Tolkien meets Xenogears type of thing. It's sort of like it's basically more. The older stories are more high fantasy. Later stories are a little more sci-fi fantasy-esque, depending on the era. The one I'm focusing right now is kind of the early period, and so this is what I call the time of the three emperors. So basically, there was a relic known as the Zohar, which is kind of like the seed for a unborn universe that they're cultivating, and it got split up into three pieces essentially. So each emperor took one, and it signifies like what their what their aptitude is. So one is more geared towards might and creation, destruction. One's geared more towards life, breath, and nature. The other one is more like timeless, mental powers, the greater universe, and so forth. But
It's giving Triforce.
A little Triforce, yeah, for sure. But it's set. The main story for that period is about a gladiator who was born a slave. He's basically his mentor dies in the process of him escaping, and he basically swears revenge against the Red Emperor. And in the meantime, he's the one that has the ability to actually put the Zohar back together into one whole piece, which is what everyone wants, right? Because they want to control that. Because if you control that, you control the destiny of basically the world at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the war is there's been a lot of battles over it, so of course, how it is. Everyone kind of kills each other for those things. So bring on all the good betrayal and everything like that. Yeah. All
right. Do you have any room for more writers? I'm kidding. Okay. So we are approaching an hour, and again, I appreciate you coming out and spending time telling us about all these amazing things about your career, about what you've done and what you're doing. I believe that we will close it up, but if I want to get your Scaredy Cats card game. I want to get this Oinkonomics 3 Pigs game, and I want to hear more about these sci-fi adventures and that fantasy you're working on. I love fantasy. So as these things get updated, let me know.
My pleasure. You have to come back.
We can have you back and discuss more. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more engaged audience, but
that'll start somewhere, again, right?
Yeah. Just gotta find them somehow.
Exactly.
But Kenji, I appreciate you coming out. Where do you have, you do have a mailing list, and I fully intend to put that link down there. It wouldn't let me post the video or schedule a video unless I took the links out, because of YouTube verification. I put in for the verification, but it's going to take 24 hours. But there will be links. But if there's anywhere that you want to point us to, is there something?
Yeah, if anyone ever wants to reach out to us at the studio, you can email us at info@iamashepard.com. We're very open. We're always happy to chat. If you have a project that you need help building out, let's sit down and chat and see how we can work together on it. We're always about collaboration, especially with the creatives, because that's really the bread and butter, and that's why we're here. So
all right,
chat more.
Well, thank you, Kenji. Well, this has been Ars Duaemonia with Austin Light, creator of Envy and the American Demon Comics brand. So you can go check out Envy at AmericanDemonComics.com, read it for free. And you can find me on TikTok, X, and here on YouTube, and my website and my mailing list. Go to AmericanDemonComics.com/myfreecomic, and you can get the free PDF of issue number 1. And that's it. Thank you again, Kenji.
Thank you, man. Till next time.